It is 9 p.m. East African time. Good evening and many thanks that you could join us on the 19th of June 2022, barely 50 days before Kenyans head to the polls to choose the next leader. You're right in time for primetime news. My name is Winnie Maganga. My co-anchor at the bottom end of your screens is Joyce Werimo. But first, let's take a look on what's coming up. Pro-Kenya Kwanza Alliance and Embakasi East MP Babu Owino supporters clash at Jacaranda grounds in Embakasi following a dispute over which side should hold a rally at the venue.
Jamaa wametuzoea, wanafikiria kwamba Kenya ni yao, lakini tunawaambia mwaka huu, my friends, watoto wenu na watoto wetu na watoto wa mahasla wataketi meza moja kupanga taifa la Kenya. Kenya si yenu peke yenu.
Father's Day celebration was marked today all over the world with message of appreciation sent across.
Ni siku njema kwa mababa wote. Sana sana babangu mwenye amenizaa, amenilea, amenilinda mpaka wa leo.
Nimekuja kutembea nyumbani kuwish my dad a happy Father's Day na ningependa pia kuwish my grandpa a very special happy Father's Day.
And it is a sigh of relief for Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja after he's cleared by the IBC to vie for Nairobi gubernatorial seat.
I'd like to ask our opponents to rely on that process, the political process of going to the people and convincing them, not to try and rely on deep state, not to try and rely on any machinery, but ultimately it's the people of Nairobi, 2.505 million voters, who are going to make a decision.
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. The IBC Dispute Resolution Committee has rendered its verdict on the sustainability of gubernatorial candidates Johnson Sakaja and Wavinya Ndeti to vie in the August election amid claims of having questionable academic credentials. The decision, seen as careful and soft landing for the IBC, could, however, signal the beginning of a new battlefront for Sakaja.
The committee led by George Morogo has cleared Sakaja to vie for Nairobi's top seat on the basis that it lacked the jurisdiction to hear and determine the matter raised by 4 voters.
The second respondent has no jurisdiction to investigate or otherwise ascertain the authenticity of academic certificate presented to it by the political party aspirants beyond the provisions of Regulation 47 of the Election General Regulations. The second respondent acted within the law when clearing the first respondent to stand for elections.
In the ruling, seen as careful and a soft landing for the IEBC, the Commission seemingly avoided the floodgates of petitions that would have come with the decision to bar Sakaja and therefore scuttle the election preparedness calendar. The Wafula Chebukati-led commission has thrown the blame of the influx of fake degrees by aspirants at the doorstep of DPP Nordin Haji.
This committee is close to Rikside jurisdiction to hear and determine this complaint. The first respondent was properly identified in these proceedings. The second respondent, the returning officer, and its agents are not legally empowered and thus lack requisite jurisdiction to go beyond the provisions of Regulation 47 of the Election General Regulations 2012 in authenticating a degree certificate.
The end of Sakaja's week of turmoil over the IEBC dispute is, however, the beginning of another twin dispute, this time by the Commission of University Education, who have since revoked his degree from Trim University in Uganda, and another one from the DPP, who called for forensic probe on the authenticity of Sakaja's and Wavinya Ndeti's degrees.
I'd like to ask our opponents to rely on that process, the political process of going to the people and convincing them, not to try and rely on deep state, not to try and rely on any machinery, but ultimately it's the people of Nairobi, 2.505 million voters, who are going to make a decision.
Machakos Wiper gubernatorial candidate Wavinya Ndeti is also sleeping easy tonight after the committee dismissed a petition to block her from contesting for the seat due to questionable academic credentials.
The committee lacks jurisdiction to hear and determine the instant complaint. The returning officer discharged his mandate in accordance with the law. The instant complaint lacks merit. These are our final orders, that the complaint be and is hereby dismissed with no orders.
In a complaint before the tribunal, Gideon Ngewa and Kesilu Mutisia claimed the Wiper Party flag bearer does not hold a degree recognized in Kenya.
The second respondent has no investigative machinery to undertake inquiries into the validity and legitimacy of academic certificates and credentials supplied to it by various candidates, but merely acts in trust on the face value of the documents. Further, under Section 13J of the Election Offences Act 2016, it constitutes an electoral offence to make a false statement or furnish false particulars in any statement which is required under the Elections Act, knowing the statement or particulars to be false or without reasonable grounds for believing the same to be true. That under Section 21 of the Election Offences Act, the institution charged with the power to order investigation and prosecute offences under the said Act is the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution.
The tribunal on Sunday threw out the complaint, saying that it lacked the jurisdiction to hear and determine the subject raised by the two voters.
It was a waste of time, Bwana. It was a waste of time. I went to school. I went to South Bank University. I went to City University. Yeah? And it's just a phone call away. You understand? So that's why you didn't even see me even coming here. And I want to thank my lawyers also for the good job that they have done. They put all the facts on the table. Hii sio kitu ya kubahatisha ama nini. Kama unasema mtu hajasoma, kuna university. Enda kwa hiyo university. Naliondwele. Na zipita zikifanya nini?
Zikiendanga.
Babangu hakuuza ng'ombe apeleke ng'ombe shule.
It was not only a day of green lights as UDA Kiambu senatorial hopeful Karungo Wadhangwa remained barred from the ballot in the August 9th election. The team sitting in Milimani law courts upheld an earlier decision by the Kiambu returning officer not to clear the politician over integrity issues. He was denied clearance on the basis of his impeachment in 2019 while serving as the Kiambu CEC for sports.
That the Assembly of Kiambu had passed a motion while he was serving as the CEC member for sport and recommended that he be removed. But he was not removed because the then governor did not act on that motion of the Assembly. So that's why Mr. Karungo Wadhangwa, with tremendous respect, feels that that was a very unfair determination. Because even when there was material before the committee that he was not removed from office, the committee still went ahead and found otherwise.
The rulings by the tribunal will now set the work cut out for the judiciary, who are set to receive a floodgate of cases from those dissatisfied by the committee's decisions.
Nonetheless, we have every right to proceed and challenge that decision before the High Court, and that is the right that Mr. Karungo Wadhangwa will be exercising first thing in the morning tomorrow.
Elsewhere, fear and grief has engulfed the residents and users of the road from Kijabe Hospital in Lari, Kiambu County to Mai Mahiu in the neighboring Nakuru County after residents living in the Kijabe forest discovered 4 male bodies and informed the police.
The news, which raised a lot of fear among residents, was followed by the retrieval of the bodies by DCI officers. Lari Police Commander Adamson Furaha confirmed the incident by way of phone, explaining how they got the information about the incident.
Because hata locals hapa hawajua ni watu gani hao. Sio mara ya kwanza, tumekuwa na several, lakini sasa ilikuwa ina moja muda mrefu, inachukua muda, lakini this time hii jana na leo inaonekana inaanza kureza alarm. We don't know what is happening now.
Furaha further explained that one of the bodies was discovered yesterday, while 3 others were discovered today, all of them bearing marks on the neck and private parts.
Hapo the same place jana to recover moja, manaume pia, of about 40 to 45 years. The same thing has happened today. We have recovered 3. They are all men na wote wako na majeruhi kwa shingo na kwa hizi private parts ni kama zimefinywa na shingo pia ni kama imekuwa strangled, ni kama imefungwa hivi. Alafu one of the bodies today ilikuwa partly eaten na wild animals.
However, he adds that till now, no resident from the surrounding areas has been able to identify any of the bodies, making them to believe that the murder might have been done somewhere else and the bodies dumped at the forest.
Sisi tuna believe ya kwamba hii mili imeuawa mahali ingine ikakuja kwa dumped pale. Manake pale hakuna sign yote ya struggle, yani kama kitu imewekwa tu hivyo. Hakuna sign ya struggle yote. So we believe imetolewa mahali ingine ikaletwa hapa.
Ukiangalia hiyo maiti sio ya leo ama ya kesho ama ya jana, unashindwa imekuja kutoka wapi? Sasa tunakuwa na uoga hata tukipitia barabara hii na pikipiki.
It is an incident residents say has left them in fear, as the discovery of the bodies in the area shows that there is lack of security, with the residents now calling on the government to improve security in the area by adding more officers to patrol during the night.
Tunapitia hii barabara na pikipiki. Sisi ni watu tunapeleka maziwa hapa Mahema hiyo na boda. Sisi ni watu wa boda, hata sukuma tunapitia tu hapa kwa barabara, unakuta watu wamekufa tu kwa hii barabara. Hata tunasidwa ni nini? Hata sisi tunakuanga na uoga ukipitia kwa hii barabara.
Bodies of the 4 have been taken to City Mortuary in Nairobi County as investigations continue.
Ndio hapa kila siku unakuta mtu amekufa na amewekwa kwa kichaka. Hata ujui ni nani. Hata ukiomba serikali igirie hii barabara, juu watafanya nini? Kutoka Nairobi, kienda Kijabi Hospital unapitia kwa hii barabara. Sasa wakati unakuta ati kuna mtu amenyongea hapa kwa kichaka, kuna mtu amekufia hapa kwa kichaka, hata ujui ni nani.
And after some beautiful story, happy Father's Day to all fathers in the world, as people across the country came together to celebrate Father's Day. Church leaders have advocated for the introduction of special enterprise fund for men, similar to that currently enjoyed by women and youth, so as to strengthen the men in whom seem to have been neglected by the society.
The main aim of celebrating Father's Day is to honor fatherhood and paternal bonds, as well as the influence of fathers in the society. And as they are celebrated across the country, church leaders have called on them to be great role models to their children. For the longest time, the boy child in the society have been neglected and all attention drawn to the female child, something that has made it hard to achieve gender equality. Speaking at Glory Outreach Assembly Church along Thika Road during celebrations to mark Father's Day, Bishop David Thagana and Samuel Ngacha regretted the high abuse of outlawed substances by men, who they say have been neglected to the advantage of women, making the boy child to feel insecure, threatened and left out. That's why they have started to celebrate the fathers, so that the boy child can see a better image of the male child.
Fathers are supposed to be celebrated, and this function mainly is meant to change history, because we have a history and a culture where we celebrate mothers and forget the fathers, and therefore the boy child has always felt insecure, felt left out, felt threatened. And so we decided that we want to begin celebrating fathers, so that the boy child can see an image and have hope that there is something good that can come from the fathers. Looking at a role model of fatherhood, and we are saying fathers should be present. They should not be absent. There are many fathers who are absent from their home.
While calling on the government to advocate for equal gender support, they took issue with human rights organizations and governments for over-empowering girls and disremembering men. Bernard Kariuki Karanja, a pastor and leader at Kahawa Wendani, said that most men have abandoned their families and abdicated their parental duties over numerous social economic challenges that he says requires urgent attention by the relevant institutions.
Changamoto ambazo zinakumbana na wazee katika ama mababa katika taifa hasa letu la Kenya ni ya kwamba responsibility kubwa sana, ama changamoto ni ya kwamba baba kazi yake ni ya kuprovide katika kutoalia katika familia, na ako na responsibility nyingi sana. Kwa hivyo kama wakati kama huu, wakati ambapo economy yetu imeenda chini sana, kuna challenges nyingi sana kwa kuhusu mababa zetu, maana wengi wamelemewa kulipa karo ya shule, kulipa hata nyumba imekuwa ni shida, na hata chakula kwa nyumba. Ndio maana unakuta wamama wamejitoa sana kwenda kutafuta pesa kwa sababu mababa wamelemewa.
His sentiments were echoed by Phyllis Githaiga, a reverend with the church, who regretted that abuse of drugs such as cocaine, bang and inhalants has been on the rise, a crisis she insisted requires to be dealt with urgency, adding that men have been discriminated against by society for long, thereby reducing them to helpless bystanders as women and youth enjoy government goodies. She took the opportunity to urge them to try and be great role models and parents to their children.
Wababa wote ambao wananisikiza ya kwamba nyinyi ni watu wa maana, nyinyi ni viongozi, na msijiigize kwa mambo ambayo yataweza kukosesha taifa letu future ama maisha ya baadaye. Vijana wetu wanawatazama, watoto wetu vijana wanawatazama, na tungetaka mjiigize katika madawa za kulevya ama mambo ambayo yanawafanya msahau ya kwamba nyinyi ndio viongozi na ndiye tutaongoza taifa hili ili lifike mahali ambapo linafaa kufika. Baba wa siku hizi katika nchi yetu tuko na wakati mgumu, kwa sababu kama vile tunasikia ni vijana, boy child ni endangered species. Vijana na wababa wetu kutoka tu wakiwa watoto wadogo tumekosa jukumu ya kuweza kujukumika.
Nicole Mwanza for Ebru TV.
And still on the Father's Day celebration, fathers play a big role in shaping out their children's future, and Kenyans have come together to celebrate the heroes in different ways. Others traveling to their rural homes during this special day, wishing them the best.
Nasema ni siku njema kwa mababa wote. Sana sana babangu mwenye amenizaa, amenilea, amenilinda mpaka wa leo. Ningetaka kumwambia Mungu amweke maisha mengi huku duniani mpaka ile siku nitaenda kumsalimia juzi niko kazini.
Nimekuja kutembea nyumbani kuwish my dad a happy Father's Day, na ningependa pia kuwish my grandpa a very special happy Father's Day. Pia ningetaka kuwish my dad's brother a happy Father's Day pia, na pia every responsible man.
Na nilikuwa na salamu ya baba yangu naitwa Francis Gadua Maina na John Mwangi Mushiri. Ninamasalimia kwa jina ya Yesu, makae kwa Yesu na maende watoto wao na mahubiri maneno ile ya watoto wao.
Leo ni tunasherehekea siku ya Father's Day. Imekuwa siku poa sana. Tumesurprisewa kama baba na tumesurprise pia wazazi wetu. Hii siku imekuwa siku ya maana sana. Hasa kwangu sitaisahau. Nitaikumbuka kwa sababu nimesurprise pia babangu na pia mimi nimesurprisewa.
Nimeshukuru kwa siku ya leo. Ilikuwa siku ya kufana sana, ambayo ilikuwa siku ya Father's Day. Wengine wetu wameshinda kwenye kanisa, wengine wamesherekea na wengine wako mbalimbali ili kufanikisha leo ikiwa siku ya Father's Day. Kwa leo kwa wazingishi, kwa niaba ya Father's Day kwa wazingishi wote, tumeona ni furaha na tungependa sana iwe kila siku.
What a beautiful day to all fathers. And now let's shift our focus now to matters politics, where there's Mio Brigade led by presidential candidate Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua joined President Uhuru Kenyatta in observing 100 years of the Akorino Church in Kasarani. The leaders pledged to stand with members of the church. This as Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka took Azimio campaigns to Makueni County.
They came here to celebrate a century of the existence of one of the oldest churches in the country. The day marked by song and dance, befitting the Akorino church culture. President Uhuru Kenyatta, Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua were in attendance.
David nimempatia kazi ya kuwa chairperson wa board ya majani chai ya Kenya, asimamie hiyo. Kunaye secretary general wenu ambaye anaitwa Abraham Masharia Jeremiah Prince, na yeye tumempatia awe board member wa Apostle Corporation of Kenya, akae huko na asimamie huko.
The president using the celebration to give out jobs to a section of the faithfuls, while asking the church to pray for the country during this electioneering period. President Kenyatta pledged to support the church going forward.
Kwa hivyo siku ya leo ni siku ya kurudisha asante. Mimi nataka kusema ya kwamba kwa niaba yangu, hiyo nimepatia, hiyo ni ya serikali, lakini kwa niaba yangu, kwa niaba ya familia yangu, pia nimetoa shilingi milioni 10 ya kuendeleza injili na kusupport kanisa la Akorino. Mkiendelea mbele nyinyi wenyewe.
The head of state, who largely spoke in his native Kikuyu dialect, asked the congregants to support an Odinga Karua presidency.
Kwa hivyo, hii dini yenu, hii dhehebu yenu inatambua mila yetu ya Kiafrika na vile vile inafundisha watu mambo ya ujasiri, mambo ya kusimama kwa njia ya haki ili waonekane ya kwamba taifa inabaki kama imeungana pamoja. Kwa hivyo sisi tutazidi kuwa na nyinyi. Mimi niko hapa na mgomba mwenza wangu Mama Martha Wangari Karua. Wengine walisema ati baba hawezi kupanda mlima. Nikamwambia niko na tingatinga na niko na Martha.
While this was going on, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka continued with Azimio campaigns in Makueni County, where he held public rallies in Kilome and Kadhonzweni.
Kwa sasa, kwa sababu Mungu ameniweka Kenya hii, amenipa uhai, basi ngoja nirudi niseme mara ya 3 ninamuunga Raila Amolo Odinga mkono. Thank you. Wangapi wananiunga mkono kwa uamuzi huo?
Elsewhere, 2 children aged between 3 and 4 years have lost their lives after they allegedly drowned in an uncovered excavated area while they were trying to swim in Bagoni area in Lamu County. According to the residents, the area was left uncovered with one contractor who is in charge of the ongoing road construction of Lamu Port all the way to Ijara, Isiolo, Garissa and to Ethiopia and South Sudan under the Lapset government project. A somber mood engulfed the home of Ali Saif in Bagoni area in Lamu County following the alleged sudden death of Sada Ali and his brother Juma Abdallah, who are said to have met their death so early.
Waliofariki na watoto wa madada zangu wote wawili. Kwa hivyo sisi tuna huzuni. Tulikuwa tunaomba kwamba hiyo vidimbwi zifinikwe kwa sababu wale wawili waliokufa watamalizika, wale watoto tuko nao. Tunataka kujua na serikali pia wametupangia nini kuhusu hao watoto.
The duo are said to have met their death after they drowned in uncovered craters left by contractors working on the construction of the Lamu Port Road all the way to Ijara, Garissa, Isiolo, to Ethiopia and South Sudan Lapset project. They're calling on the government for intervention to at least avoid more deaths.
Watoto wadogo wamekuja kukufia maji hapa. Na mbeleni hii madimbi ilikuwa hakuna. Sisi hatupingi mradi. Mradi tumepokea. Lakini sasa miradi hiyo imegeuka sasa inatuzuru. Kwa sababu hawa macontractors wanajenga hii barabara wamekuja wamechimba madimbi kubwa kubwa.
The residents pointed out that 10 uncovered areas are left open, causing panic among the residents as well as their livestock. They now want the contractor to at least cover the area for safety of their residents.
Tumepoteza vijana wawili wadogo katika hiyo hali ya kucheza wamekuja karibu na vidimbi ambayo imechimbwa na wenye wanajenga barabara. Sisi hiyo ni hasara kwetu na ni masikitiko makubwa. Tunaambia serikali kuu wachukue hatua ya haraka.
The residents are now calling on the government to speed up their efforts to make sure the area is fully secured and that no more deaths will be reported in the area.
Mashimo zaidi 10 na ambayo inaweza kutuletea shida kama hii. Tunaona maisha ya watoto wetu paka sisi pia yako hatarini. Kwa hivyo tunataka warudi wafukie, watuache kama kawaida. Tunasikia uchungu, si ndio? Tunahisi uchungu. Lakini sasa tufanye nini? Waje tu wafukie hiyo, basi tuangalie mengine kuliko mengine baadaye tukeze.
And moving on, violence broke out at Jacaranda grounds after the rival groups allied to Kenya Kwanza and Embakasi MP Babu Owino laid claim to venue. Police were forced to intervene and disperse the crowd. However, the Kenya Kwanza campaign's rally went on. The leaders castigated the act by terming it a way to sabotage their campaigns.
Jacaranda grounds in Embakasi East, Nairobi County witnessed a beehive of activities, with violence breaking the day moments after pro-Kenya Kwanza Alliance and Embakasi East MP Babu Owino supporters clashed following a dispute over which side shall hold a rally at the venue. According to the UDA letter addressed to IEBC, Embakasi East UDA aspirant Francis Mureithi reserved and paid for hire of Jacaranda grounds a sum of 30,000 shillings on June 15th for Kenya Kwanza campaign rally today. The Deputy President William Ruto-led party claim Mureithi was barred by police officers from accessing the venue to set up tents in preparation for the Kenya Kwanza campaign rally. Confusion set in after the Embakasi MP Babu Owino also moved to his Twitter account and claimed to have booked the same venue for a prayer meeting, which he later cancelled. However, the Kenya Kwanza Brigade moved on to hold the campaign rally at the venue, taking a swipe at their opponents for what they termed as a plot to derail their campaign pace.
Hawa jamaa wametuzoea, wanafikiria kwamba Kenya ni yao, lakini tunawaambia mwaka huu, my friends, watoto wenu na watoto wetu na watoto wa mahasla wataketi meza moja kupanga taifa la Kenya. Kenya si yenu peke yenu. Ni kweli ama si kweli, my friends? Na mimi wacha nirudie, nawaambia hawa majamaa, hii Kenya si yenu. Hamuwezi kutupimia hewa. Hamuwezi kutupimia hewa. Hii Nairobi si yenu. Hii Nairobi ni ya Nairobi milioni 4, na sisi wote tutakuwa na sehemu katika hii Nairobi. Tunaelewana na tuelewane?
The leaders claiming their opponents are using security agencies to frustrate their candidates.
That the responsibility of the security of every Kenyan rests with the state, and we hold squarely responsible the Minister for Internal Security na PS wake. Wakati wa siasa kama huu, serikali ina jukumu ya kuhakikisha yale tumeona hapa vijana wakirusha mawe haifanyiki. And I want to tell our competitors, mzee wa kuzinia, ya kwamba unaweza kurusha mawe, unaweza kufungia watu kuingia Jacaranda, lakini utafungia watu kwenda kwa polling station tarehe 9.
Mimi nataka niulize wale watu wa NCIC wakiongozwa na Reverend Kobia, you should investigate who is responsible for using these young boys here to throw stones. Wewe usituambie unatoa jina la hakupangwingwi, ati unatoa jina fulani, unatoa neno fulani. That is not your role. This now is your role. Can you find out, Reverend Kobia, who are these people who want to destroy the election of this country?
Deputy President William Ruto faulting the president for imposing people he termed as projects to the Kenyan electorate.
You cannot impose a puppet on the people of Kenya. You cannot impose your project, the Kitendawili man, on the people of Kenya. We have refused. You cannot impose a governor in Nairobi. We have refused. The people of Kenya will elect a governor in Nairobi and everywhere else, and the people of Kenya will elect a president of their choice who thinks about their issues, a president who will serve all Kenyans, a president who will think about the young people of our nation, a president who will not use young people to throw stones and to create havoc and to create violence. We are telling you, your days are numbered.
The Kenya Kwanza leaders going on to urge the youth against being used by political leaders to cause violence in campaign rallies.
And I want to tell them, Tinga and your owner, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta, I want to tell you one thing. The youth of Kenya, we are not available for shenanigans and nonsense. The youth of Kenya is not available to throw stones and to cause chaos and to do demonstrations, kwa sababu sisi kama vijana tunajiheshimu. Na tumesema vijana wa Kenya, hatutatumiwa na yeyote kurusha mawe ama kutoa vurugu ama kupiga wenzetu kwa sababu ya siasa.
The DP Ruto-led faction selling the agenda to the residents.
Tutateremsha bei ya unga, tutateremsha bei ya mafuta, tutateremsha bei ya mkate, tutateremsha bei ya kila kitu. Kwa sababu hatuwezi kukubali wale ambao hawajui shida ya mwananchi. Ukimwambia umelala njaa, atakwambia kwa nini ulikataa kula. Hajui kwamba unakosa chakula. Hao ndio wanatusumbua.
Davis Mberia, Ebra News.
Now let's get sporty, where Kenya shooters dominated the Kenyan Open Level 3 IPS Championship, with culminated at the Shaba shooting range in Samburu today. Ibrahim Ndungu of Bamburi Shooting Club won the production category, while DCI shooter Agnes Mushiri won the ladies category.
I think these are the first step. So we are hoping even the level 4 will be held here, because we have a state-of-the-art range at Shaba. I've toured most sporting events, and I can attest that there is no such a facility that can match the one we have here.
Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed has extended the mandate of Football Kenya Federation FKF Transition Committee for the next 2 months. The decision, effected through a gazette noted dated June 17th, is meant to avert leadership crisis after retired Judge Aaron Ringaru's led Transition Committee tenure expired on June 14th. Retired General Maurice Oyugi assumes the mantle as the new chairman. Oyugi served as Ringaru's deputy prior to his appointment. Former Kenya Rugby Union chairman Mwangi Muthee has been picked to deputize Oyugi. Amina maintained that the rest of the team that served as the previous committee and its secretariat, they include Amar Bodi Ogola, former Harambee Starlet captain Nidia Tieno, Caesar Handa, Hassan Haji, Dr. J.J. Masinga, Michael Mushemi, Rachel Kamweru, and Anthony Isai. The decision is bound to court controversy, given that it was only last Saturday that a group of stakeholders formed a 13-member committee to take charge of football activities at the expiry of the transition committee's term. And that story marks the end of our bulletin tonight. Many thanks for keeping me company. A special thanks to everyone who made this particular bulletin a success. Not forgetting Happy Father's Day to the one and only Mr. Peter Maganga Mwakidoshi. That's my dad. And have a beautiful and a blessed night. My name is Winnie Maganga.